Hello, and welcome to Sleep Stories World. I'd like to invite you to step into a world of relaxation and tranquility with this bedtime story, designed to help you unwind and de-stress. By engaging in this story, you can embark on a journey that nurtures and soothes your mind, promoting overall well-being through sound, restful sleep. Before we begin, let's prepare your space for rest. Ensure you're somewhere comfortably cool, dark, and quiet. If you need to adjust anything, your curtains, your temperature, your pillows, please do so now. When you're ready, lie down and let yourself settle into your bed. Feel the weight of your body being supported. You may want to cover yourself with a light blanket as your body relaxes. Now, gently close your eyes. There's nothing you need to see anymore tonight. Your only task now is to be here, allowing yourself to receive the gift of rest. Take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale slowly through your mouth. Breathe in deeply, feeling your chest expand. Breathe out, feeling your body sink deeper into your bed. In and out. With each breath, you're signaling to your body that it's safe to rest. Now, imagine being surrounded by a warm, vibrant light. This light is gentle and comforting, carrying with it a deep sense of peace and safety. As you breathe in, let this warm light fill your chest. As you breathe out, imagine it spreading gently through your upper body. Breathe in, and let the light expand through your shoulders, your arms, your back. Breathe out, and feel it filling your stomach, your neck, your head, every space within you glowing softly. If a thought comes by, acknowledge it like watching a leaf float by on a gentle stream, and then let it drift away. There will be time for those thoughts later. Now is for rest. On your next breath in, let the warm light travel downward. Feel it reach your hips, your thighs, your knees. Breathe out, and sense it flowing down to your ankles, to your toes. Every part of you now is surrounded by this gentle, warm glow. You are completely enveloped in comfort and peace. Focus on your breath and the warm light surrounding you. If your mind wanders, simply guide it back, gently, to your breath, to the light. You are safe. You are comfortable. You are exactly where you need to be. As we move into tonight's story, allow yourself to let go even more. Let the words wash over you like a gentle tide. You don't need to follow every detail. Simply receive the story as a gift, a soft companion as you journey toward sleep. And now, let us begin. In the closing years of the 19th century, as the world grew smaller and maps filled with names and borders, there remained one last frontier that defied human understanding. Antarctica. The vast white continent at the bottom of the world, wrapped in ice and mystery, untouched and unconquered. It was a place of such extreme cold that no trees could grow, no permanent life could flourish. A frozen wilderness larger than Europe, yet almost entirely unknown to science and civilization. The allure of this blank space on the map drew a particular kind of person. Not conquerors seeking treasure, but explorers driven by something deeper, a need to stand where no human had stood before, to push the boundaries of what was thought possible, to bring back knowledge from the very edge of existence. Among these remarkable individuals, three names would become forever intertwined with the Antarctic: Robert Falcon Scott, Roald Amundsen, and Ernest Shackleton. Each of them would embark on expeditions that would test the absolute limits of human endurance, courage, and will. Their stories would inspire generations, not because they were tales of easy triumph, but because they revealed what human beings are capable of when faced with nature at its most unforgiving. Robert Falcon Scott was born in 1868 in Devonport, England, into a family with deep naval traditions. From the age of 13, he trained as a naval officer, learning the disciplines of the sea, navigation, leadership, and the careful management of ships and men in difficult conditions. Scott was known for his methodical approach, his dedication to scientific inquiry, and his deep sense of duty. He was not a natural adventurer in the romanticized sense, but rather a naval officer who saw Antarctic exploration as both a scientific mission and a test of British resolve and character. Roald Amundsen, born in 1872 near Oslo, Norway, seemed destined from childhood for a life of polar exploration. As a boy, he slept with his windows open even in the depths of Norwegian winter, deliberately hardening himself for the challenges he knew would come. He studied the survival techniques of indigenous Arctic peoples, understanding that the wisdom of those who had lived in frozen lands for generations held lessons that European explorers had often ignored. Amundsen was pragmatic, supremely organized, and willing to learn from any source. Where others might see exploration as a glorious adventure, Amundsen saw it as a problem to be solved through careful planning, the right equipment, and respect for the environment. Ernest Shackleton, born in 1874 in County Kildare, Ireland, possessed a different kind of genius, an extraordinary ability to lead and inspire others, and an almost supernatural instinct for reading ice and weather. He joined the Merchant Navy at 16 and quickly demonstrated a natural talent for navigation and seamanship. Shackleton had served as third officer on Scott's first Antarctic expedition, the Discovery Expedition of 1901 to 1904, where he had experienced firsthand both the wonder and the danger of the frozen continent. During that expedition, Shackleton, Scott, and Edward Wilson had sledged farther south than any humans before them, reaching 82 degrees south latitude before being forced to turn back, weakened by scurvy and exhaustion. The Antarctic they sought to explore was a continent of almost incomprehensible scale and severity. Covering approximately 5.5 million square miles, Antarctica is the fifth largest continent, nearly twice the size of Australia. Yet despite its enormous area, it is the least understood landmass on Earth. During the Antarctic winter, temperatures can plunge below -90 degrees Fahrenheit, cold enough to freeze exposed skin in seconds, cold enough that ordinary steel becomes brittle and can shatter like glass. The ice that covers Antarctica holds about 70% of the world's fresh water, locked away in glacier that can be more than 2 miles thick. If all this ice were to melt, the world's oceans would rise by nearly 200 feet, flooding every coastal city on the planet. But in the early 1900s, this was not yet fully understood. What drew these explorers was not just adventure, but the chance to contribute to human knowledge, to study weather patterns, geology, biology, and the very nature of Earth itself. The race to reach the South Pole, the southernmost point on Earth, where all lines of longitude converge and the only direction is north, became the defining quest of the heroic age of Antarctic exploration. This wasn't simply about planting a flag. It represented the culmination of centuries of human exploration, the final great geographical prize on the planet. To stand at 90 degrees south latitude meant to stand at a point that had remained unreachable throughout all of human history. But reaching the pole required more than courage or determination. It demanded solving an extraordinary logistical puzzle. Expeditions would need to transport tons of supplies across hundreds of miles of ice, through temperatures that could kill an unprepared person within hours, across terrain that might be flat ice shelf one day and chaotic pressure ridges the next, great walls of ice thrust upward by the grinding movement of glacier, creating barriers that could take hours or days to navigate. The distance from the edge of the Antarctic continent to the South Pole varied depending on the route chosen, but it was approximately 800 to 900 miles, roughly the distance from London to Rome, or from New York to Chicago. But unlike those journeys, there would be no roads, no shelter, no possibility of resupply. Every ounce of food, every drop of fuel, every piece of equipment would need to be carried or hauled on sledges. Any miscalculation could mean death. And there was another challenge, one that couldn't be measured in miles or degrees of cold. Antarctica plays tricks on the human mind. The endless white landscape, the absence of familiar reference points, the strange quality of light, and the profound isolation can disorient even the most experienced explorer. During the Antarctic summer, when most expeditions traveled, the sun never set, circling the horizon in an endless day that disrupted sleep patterns and made judging time nearly impossible. The silence, too, was profound, a silence so complete that explorers reported hearing their own heartbeats, the whisper of their own breath inside their hoods. As the 20th century dawned, both Scott and Shackleton began planning their return to Antarctica. Scott, now a captain in the Royal Navy, secured funding for what would be called the Terra Nova expedition, named after his ship. His goals were twofold: to reach the South Pole and to conduct extensive scientific research across multiple disciplines. The expedition would carry geologists, biologists, meteorologists, and physicists. For Scott, reaching the pole was important, but understanding Antarctica was paramount. Shackleton, meanwhile, was planning his own expedition. Having come so close to the pole during the Discovery expedition, and having been sent home early due to illness, which he considered a personal failure, Shackleton was determined to return and finish what he had started. His Nimrod expedition of 1907 to 1909 came astonishingly close. Shackleton and three companions, Frank Wild, Eric Marshall, and Jameson Adams, sledged to within just 97 nautical miles of the South Pole, closer than any human had ever been, before Shackleton made the difficult decision to turn back. Supplies were running dangerously low, and he knew that pushing forward might mean reaching the pole but never returning alive. When Shackleton returned to England, he was celebrated as a hero for bringing all his men home safely, but he was also haunted by how close he had come. "Better a live donkey than a dead lion," he told his wife, Emily, though he never truly stopped thinking about that unconquered prize, just 97 miles beyond his reach. And then there was Amundsen, who had been preparing for years to be the first to reach the North Pole. He had secured funding, assembled a team, and prepared his ship, the Fram, a vessel specially designed to withstand being frozen into Arctic ice. But in 1909, news reached him that stopped his plans entirely. American explorers Robert Peary and Frederick Cook both claimed to have reached the North Pole. Though their claims would be disputed for decades, the effect on Amundsen was immediate. The North Pole, it seemed, was no longer unconquered. Amundsen made a decision that he kept secret from almost everyone, including his own crew and financial backers. He would redirect his expedition southward. Instead of the North Pole, he would race for the South Pole. He knew that Scott was planning his own attempt, but Amundsen reasoned that Antarctica belonged to no one, and the pole was a prize open to whoever could reach it first. He would not announce his change of plans until his ship had already departed, ensuring that there would be no time for objections or interference. In the quiet of your breathing tonight, imagine that moment of decision, Amundsen alone with his charts and his ambitions, understanding that he was about to set in motion a race that would capture the world's imagination and forever change how we understand human capability and the planet we inhabit. 3 men, 3 expeditions, all converging on the most inhospitable place on Earth. The stage was set for one of the most remarkable chapters in the history of exploration. For now, breathe deeply, slowly, and rest. Sleep well, knowing that our gentle journey through the legendary polar expeditions of Scott, Amundsen, and Shackleton, 3 explorers who traveled to the ends of the earth and changed our world forever, continues with the next episode.